G'day, g'day, g'day. Mathematical KM or Keith Malumbi. Remember their initials, not a title. Okay, I'm a repeat of a Dobell Cup round 3 match at my local club this time. It's round 5 of just a local tournament. Abhinav, who is FIDE 1654 and I'm FIDE 1464, so still the 100 points uphill. I, however, have got the white pieces. We had quite the arm wrestle in the Dobell Cup, and this time around, well, we shall see. Intense, that was a serious game. Well, I'll give it my own title a bit later, but let's take a look at it all. So he knows what to expect. He's had a couple of arm wrestles against the hippo, and he's gone for the 3-pawn centre, which is one of the better setups against the hippopotamus, but keep it quiet. It's not as bad when it's queen side compared to king side. Against the queen side, you can just play the hippo against it still. So he's got his 3 pawns out front and developing his knights. I have attacked, made a little pawn pyramid here and attacked the D pawn, figuring that should he take it, that'll give him 1 pawn here, and I might use my bishop to take the knight, and that'll give him Irish pawns. Wearing my green, Malumbi's Irish. 1, 2, 3, we could maybe end up with triple pawns. He doesn't like the idea of the triple pawns, so he instead, and triple pawns wouldn't have lasted too long, one of these guys would have taken the C pawn, but we would have had the Irish pawns momentarily, but instead he's thrown the D pawn forward. Okay. Yeah, it wasn't 100% about, it's a move, it does stop the knight coming in, the A3, and having planned for the Irish pawns, I could have given him standard good old doubled pawns. And I just, at the time, felt like I wanted to keep my bishop. But doubling his pawns might have been pretty smart. And remember that I could have. Okay, he develops his other knight. That's a bit more of a reasonable thumbs up because there's both a knight and a bishop that could have tried to come in here. He gets a bishop out into the middle, allows castling and protects his C and E pawns. I decide to sort of challenge in the middle a little here. And if he takes the pawn, I'm thinking very much about replacing that pawn. That would be a nice square for my dark bishop with 2 good diagonals. He goes for the castle. Let's get my knight out of the way. Again, still leaving that E pawn. Should he take it, I can develop the bishop. I've now got the ability to castle. He develops his light bishop. I decide he's not going to take it, so we'll take a second step with that pawn. What it does do is it opens my dark bishop. The dark bishop's never going to develop on B2. That's not part of the plan when it's so locked up in the middle. Now it's a better piece than what it was. He develops his rook. Now, at this point, and I'll go through the thinking, it doesn't always work, but sometimes it works. They're the squares for that knight. And should I get that pawn to G5, it can only really get to H5. H4 will still be no good. H5 needs to be covered. It's only not covered at the minute because of my knight. It's a vaguely cunning thing. He may miss it, and it's also going to be developing my pawns and throwing them towards his king, trying to get Gary up to g5. Have to ask Abhinav if he... well, I believe he must have been all over it, as we'll see. Knight to passivity. Yeah, okay, it's for a reason. It's to give the queen both of those knight squares. He's doing a bit of stuff over there. Doesn't look like much, but remember that. Okay, so we develop the pawn. And I wish he opportunity to pin a knight. I would like to capture that knight. And if he doesn't take action, then g5 will capture that knight. Unfortunately for me, he's quite a good player. And there we go. Prevents your opponent... This is talking to Abhinav. This prevents your opponent from being able to win the knight. Yeah, well, that was the vague little mini plan there, as well as starting to get the pawns rolling. Okay. Could have kicked the knight, sure, but we've instead pinned it. Looks like kicking it was a much better idea according to the computer. Nothing's been taken, but it doesn't like that, and we're up to an eval of 2 to black. Okay. He's moved to king pawn, giving us a bit of a hook there. Move the bishop back. It's still pinning the knight. And I realise that I do have a safety square should the Gary come forward. He instead breaks the pin by putting a bishop there, so the knight's not pinned to the queen. Okay, that lets the opponent eventually win a pawn, but... and maybe it doesn't come to as much as I was hoping. If he moves his knight, I'm going to take the H pawn, and he will take with his G pawn and then pathways to the king. So I don't think he's going to move his knight. If he takes me, I can take back with the bishop, and it's not directly at the king, but you know, there's an avenue in. So that's better to have an avenue next to the king, not directly at the king. So I take. He moves his queen across. He wants to do some stuff on the queen side. That much is obvious. I want to try and get some sort of an attack going on the king side. What was the much better move? Forgive me. Okay, that wasn't his... Tell me what best was. That was his. Oh, just protecting... and I do send Harry up the board later. Harry now was best. I was thinking about... I couldn't get the queen here or here because of the knight. So I'm thinking about getting the queen lined up with the king and then sending stuff down the board. But it looks a lot like Harry first was the go. Okay, so he's moved his knight to sort of plug that hole. And also the bishop's threatening my bishop. I want to keep the bishop on this diagonal because once I've got a queen or rook there, that bishop can come all the way into h7. It's a little bit of a thought. Okay, so he sent the b pawn down the board. I think I can... The computer doesn't think I can ignore it. It just went to 3.5. Comes back a bit as he reacts and doesn't let me put the... Well, I can put the bishop there, but it hasn't got the threat of checkmate of the queen coming in. It does reduce the eval. I've got some stuff happening on this side of the board. Here comes Harry. Okay, the knight, and the game is close to equal. I believe I should probably have advanced Harry straight away, because if the knight takes it, the rook can take it. And I was thinking, oh, 2 defenders. Very silly of me there. With the eval at 0. Harry forward straight away was the move. I went out of my way to get 2 defenders. I didn't need 2 defenders. He takes... A little bit late, but it's there. Moves his king forward. That was the move to make. Obviously can't take with the king. He takes with his pawn. He wants to start getting rooks and pieces off because his king must be feeling a little bit under threat. But look at the eval. It's not where I need it to be. I thought about... Threatens to force a checkmate. Yeah, sure, it threatens it. It's because he can't take the rook, and it's threatening to let the queen in. He's playing got lots of defensive moves, Abhinav. He's playing very well. And that stops me from getting the queen in there. And overlooks the opportunity to capture a free pawn, and it wasn't that forcing. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Didn't. Okay. Pretty good. And well, it was the only move really, taking it back. The pawn can't take it. And he gets rid of a lot of the stuff that was... And capture a free pawn. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Didn't. Won't be the title of the video, but it's definitely there. He takes, and that B pawn is going to be a pain in my side. So the knight out to threaten it. He brings a bishop to threaten the knight and take mine. So essentially he was swapping the bishops off, so yep, fine. His rook threatening the queen, forcing move. I bring the queen back. It's all about that pawn. That's why the eval's where it is. How about 4.4? Okay, I've got 1 piece attacking. He's got 1 piece defending. Now I've got 2 attacking. Now he's got 2 defending. Now he has only got 1 defending, but he's got 2 attacking my C pawn. And I've only got 1 defending. He had 3 attacking it actually. So he's come in with the bishop. I've brought that knight with the thought of bringing the knight to here, so that I'll have 1, 2, 3 attacking the pawn. He's only got 2. He could play with the queen. It would get interesting, then I'd be trying to get my queen. But he finds a... Oh, and if he moved it forward at any point, he'd currently have none, and I'd just be able to take it. So it did get a tick as a reasonable move, but he thought so too, so he gets rid of that knight. So I pretty much have to get rid of the bishop. Brings his queen in. Places, close to the king. Mind you, that one's currently protected, but it's in close and nasty. And it's also a second piece protecting his b-pawn. It's looking bad. What do? Threaten to chase his king around forever. Threaten to chase his king around forever. Remember this. I think we found the title for the video. Okay. He protects the pawn, so I can't take the pawn with the queen. We'll move the queen to where we're threatening to move to d7. Queen threatening to move to d7. Get that in there. Obviously it was in there then. Check. Best move for the king. Okay. 0.0. We're talking about it. The whole point of the threatening the checkmate and then the queen forward was threatening to move the queen to d7. It's there right now. The draw. Snatching a draw from a bad situation. One move. And, well, let's show you what I did play. A momentary lapse of reason saying, oh, the pawn can't take my queen if I just move it to here. So silly. The original plan was the best. The king's trapped. It's an eventual repetition. That's why it's 0.0. Let's just show. Yeah, you bet it's great. That's where I resigned. However, let's have a quick look at. This was the plan. And we'll keep giving black the best moves. You'll note that there are places where let's go. This was one of them. You'd think, why doesn't he block with the knight? Well, the change from a draw to white playing for a win. If he blocks with the knight, he loses his queen. That would be game over. There really is. If he moves his king to here, I check him on f8 and win the rook, which is +4 to white. But I had the draw. And queen to queen to d7 was the plan. Queen to d7. The knight I don't know. Both love and hate knights. So I had a good attack. He defended well. The attack petered out. I should have taken a pawn and not done a non-forcing nothing move. He got a pawn forward. He got a very strong attack going. I managed with my own good defensive moves to get the plan of getting the queen to d7. One move from completing the plan and having the draw. And what do? Step into a queen fork. So well done to Abhinav. He's got 2 on me in a row now. So good game. Just a real shame I didn't follow through on that discombobulating your queen and your rook so that they couldn't get anywhere, and then having the knight not being able to come in and have my queen give me the draw. So close. Anyway, looking forward to next time, Abhinav. See you on the battlefield then.